6 months since winning a historic landslide in July, Labour has lost 33 council seats in by-elections across England, Scotland and Wales, and gained only 6. Labour has suffered a significant loss of council seats since the general election, with analysis revealing that the party has lost 5 times as many seats as it has gained. In the 6 months following their historic landslide victory on July 4, Labour has lost 33 council seats in by-elections across England, Scotland and Wales. While only gaining 6, in contrast, the Tories have seen a net gain of 24 seats, marking a stark reversal of fortunes for both parties since the general election. Reform UK has also made a net gain of 7 seats. While the Lib Dems and Greens have each added 2 to their tally, according to the figures compiled by pollster Sir Robert Hayward for The Telegraph, this serves as a stark warning to Keir Starmer, whose approval ratings have taken a hit since he took office, with a recent survey indicating that he is more unpopular after 5 months in number 10 than any other premier since the late 1970s. A recent poll by the More in Common think tank suggested that if an election were held now, Labour would lose almost 200 of the seats it won in July. The party lost 33 council seats it previously held in recent by-elections. Between July 5 and December 19, there were 176 council by-elections, with Labour contesting 151 and losing roughly 21% of those. Despite gaining 6 seats from other parties, the net result was a loss of 27 seats for Starmer's party, a Labour spokesman told The Telegraph. This Labour government inherited unprecedented challenges from the Conservatives, with crumbling public services and crippled public finances with the Tories' £22 billion black hole. In the short 6 months since the election, we've already begun fixing the foundations and delivering change. Labour faces significant setback as party loses over 20% in council by-elections. The Labour Party, under the leadership of Sir Keir Starmer, has encountered a significant political challenge following the loss of over 20% of council seats contested in recent by-elections. This development has raised concerns within the party and the broader political landscape about Labour's current trajectory and its ability to regain trust among voters. A barometer of national sentiment, local council by-elections, often considered a microcosm of national political sentiment, provide an early indicator of public approval or discontent. Labour's performance in these elections suggests that key segments of the electorate remain unconvinced by the party's vision and leadership under Starmer. This comes at a time when Labour is striving to position itself as a viable alternative to the Conservative government, led by Prime Minister Rishi Sunak. Decline in core support, the losses in council by-elections may signal a deeper problem: Labour's struggle to maintain support in its traditional strongholds. The Red Wall regions, historically loyal Labour constituencies in the North and Midlands, have already shown signs of shifting allegiance, with many voting Conservative in the 2019 general election. These by-election results suggest that Labour's recovery in these areas is far from assured. Labour's diminished performance may also point to dissatisfaction among urban voters, a group that has traditionally backed the party but is increasingly fragmented in its support. Rising living costs, housing shortages, and local service cuts have added to public frustration, and Labour appears to be bearing the brunt of this discontent in some regions. Starmer's leadership under scrutiny. This setback is likely to intensify scrutiny of Keir Starmer's leadership. Since taking over the party in 2020, Starmer has sought to reposition Labour as a more centrist, pragmatic force, aiming to distance it from. However, this strategy has been met with mixed reactions. While some applaud the attempt to appeal to middle-ground voters, others argue that it alienates Labour's traditional base and lacks a compelling vision to inspire grassroots support. Critics within the party may use these losses to question Starmer's ability to lead Labour into the next general election. The absence of a clear policy platform or charismatic leadership style has left some questioning whether Labour can rally a coalition of voters broad enough to win back power. Regional disparities in performance. The losses in council by-elections were not evenly distributed across the country. In urban areas like London, Labour largely held its ground, maintaining strong support among diverse and progressive communities. However, in smaller towns and rural regions, the party faced significant challenges. The Liberal Democrats and the Greens capitalized on voter dissatisfaction with Labour in some areas, while the Conservatives retained their foothold in others. The party's inability to gain traction in critical battleground areas may foreshadow difficulties in the upcoming general election. For Labour to secure a parliamentary majority, it will need to rebuild its electoral coalition, which requires balancing the interests of urban progressives, suburban centrists, and working-class voters in smaller towns. The role of policy and messaging. Labour's performance in these by-elections also raises questions about its policy platform and communication strategy. While the party has focused on key issues such as the National Health Service, NHS, climate change, and social justice, some voters perceive its messaging as vague or uninspiring. Meanwhile, the Conservatives have doubled down on culture war issues and local investment promises, which seem to resonate with certain voter demographics. Labour's stance on controversial topics, including Brexit, may also play a role in these losses. While Starmer has sought to move past the Brexit debate, the issue remains a fault line in British politics. Labour's ambiguity on matters like rejoining the EU or deepening ties with Europe may have left both pro-Leave and pro-Remain voters dissatisfied. Implications for the next general election. The by-election losses are a reminder that Labour faces a steep uphill battle to win the next general election. While the Conservative Party is grappling with its own challenges, including economic instability and internal divisions, Labour must demonstrate that it can offer a credible and inspiring alternative. Starmer and his team will likely need to reassess their strategy, focusing on reconnecting with disillusioned voters in key regions. This includes addressing local issues more effectively, articulating a clear and bold national vision, and building a broad coalition of support that transcends traditional party lines. Internal party dynamics. The by-election results could also exacerbate tensions within the Labour Party. Starmer has worked to consolidate his control over the party apparatus, sidelining left-wing factions associated with Jeremy Corbyn. However, these losses may embolden critics on the left, who argue that Labour's shift to the centre has weakened its identity and appeal. Factional disputes within the party could undermine Labour's ability to present a united front, further complicating its electoral prospects. Starmer's leadership will be tested not only by external challenges, but also by his capacity to navigate internal dissent and build a cohesive strategy moving forward. While losing over 20% of council seats is undoubtedly a blow, it also serves as a wake-up call for Labour. The party has time to recalibrate before the next general election, but the road ahead is fraught with challenges. Rebuilding trust among voters, crafting a compelling narrative, and addressing the complex social and economic issues facing the UK will be critical to Labour's success. Ultimately, these by-elections highlight the need for Labour to engage more deeply with voters, listen to their concerns, and offer practical solutions that resonate across diverse communities. Whether Keir Starmer can rise to this challenge remains to be seen, but the stakes could not be higher for the future of the Labour Party and its place in British politics.